Let's take a look at the 6'11", 28-year-old center for the Detroit Pistons, Nerlens Noel. I do want to make a quick note that I use the past 2 seasons for all the stats that you're going to see in this breakdown. It's a total of 89 games, but he only played 25 last season. So I went to film from 2 seasons ago and used stats that combine the past 2 seasons. We're going to start with him in the pick and roll. Obviously a guy that can be a lob threat. That was his second most used play type, was a pick and roll man, and had 63 lob attempts or alley-oops over the past 2 seasons. So you see him able to finish that one. And then here, he's able to stay in and grab an offensive rebound off of that. So he can be a threat in these situations. I did leave the film wanting to see a little bit more, and I'll talk about whether that was all Nerlens Noel or maybe it was the personnel he was playing with also. Another area in the ball screen I wanted to see more, or would have liked to see him be more efficient, was in the short roll. So to start, we're just going to look at the passing. One, he fumbles that catch right there, something that's been talked a little bit about with him, just his ability to catch the ball. And then didn't see very many reps where he's able to catch and make the pass, or if he did, it was a slow decision. This was one of the better ones here. He's able to catch. Weak side guy is right there. He's able to stop his momentum, knows where to go with the ball, not necessarily super on target, but gets the job done for quickly to still attack the defense. So that was one of the better reps, but just did not see a whole lot of these short roll reps. And then even in terms of scoring, so here he's going to catch, do the little push floater with his left. So some stats on that. He only shot 20 floaters the past 2 seasons and 52 total attempts between about 5 and 15 feet. He was 40% on those attempts, but just not enough volume in the short roll to feel super confident about his ability to score it or pass it in those situations. And then I just wanted to put this clip in. 2 seasons ago in the film, he was operating a lot in DHOs, which is something the Pistons do. This past season, not quite as much. So I think it's something he's comfortable in, but I don't know that it's something that he really flourished or was super great in it or that stood out. Now, I did want to let this clip play out. You see here, he rolls, and there's an opportunity if Julius Randle attacks, has his eye up, maybe there's a bucket here for Nerlens Noel. So this plays into maybe a reason we didn't see him finish a lot of these possessions, is he simply wasn't getting the ball, as you see him kind of throw his hands up wondering where the pass is. Now, the spot on the floor offensively where I really like Nerlens Noel is down here on the baseline, operating in the dunker spot, being able to move. So watch on this possession. I just wanted it to highlight really how well he is moving down here. So first he starts on this side of the floor from the drive from Barrett. As Fournier drives, watch how he just works himself under the rim to the other side of the floor for better spacing. Tries to post this guy up and keep him occupied to give a look for RJ Barrett. Now as the ball came to this side, he works back to the other side. So worked 3 sides of the floor in about 15 to 18 seconds on that possession. I think he's really good with that. Here a little bit further out, but on the drive from Randle, he's going to cut in, shows a little bit of skill as he goes to the hook shot. Post-ups were not something he did, less than 1.5% of his overall play types the last 2 seasons. So really his major play types were pick and roll man, these cuts like we're seeing here, and then obviously putbacks. Everything else was less than 7%. He's really good screening on the baseline as well, as these next clips will highlight, but then watch how he gets off that screen to create some space here. He doesn't get the ball, but then he stays with the play, goes up, gets an offensive rebound, which he's averaged over 2 per game the past 2 seasons. I really like this one as well. So not on the baseline, but just shows his movement. Obi Toppin working in the post, and he doesn't stay here. Notice how he moved to where the only open passing window is from Toppin, able to get himself in position to catch and then finish with the left-hand layup. I just really like his off-ball movement. I like him down here in the dunker spot a lot more than I do as the pick and roll man. Shot here from Julius Randle. He's going to work on the weak side around the box out, go and get himself an offensive rebound and a putback where he obviously was very good. And then these screens. So you see here, attack from the weak side. This man here, eyes on the ball, so he's going to screen him. Doesn't turn into anything for quickly on that one, but wanted to highlight as well. He gets a lot of these tip backs on the offensive boards as well. So those may not go down as stats for him, but he's very good at that, creating extra possessions for his team. And again, this screen. So this is the ones we're talking about. Rose drives it in from here. He's down here on the baseline, not just standing there. He sees the action, gonna get this screen, gets a wide open shot on this possession for RJ Barrett. I think Nerlens Noel really operates well down there on the baseline. And then I wanted to finish with this clip where I feel like Kemba Walker could have dumped this off to him. And as we play through it, you're going to see Nerlens Noel. Watch his body language right here. So we've seen that twice. I felt watching the film like he felt he wasn't getting those dump offs, those lobs, whether as a roll man, a DHO roll man, or along the baseline as much as what he should have. That's the offensive game for Nerlens Noel. Let's transition to defensively. And again, we're going to start in the ball screen with his ball screen defense. The area I like him the most is right here where he's in true drop coverage and then just uses his length and stunts at the ball handler to cause some indecisiveness as he does there with Jimmy Butler. We're going to see it again here against the Spurs. He's going to drop, but then he just uses that length and stunts, and eventually forces the pass out. He also will come up and jump the screen and show really hard. And again, he's always very active with his hands. He actually averaged over a steal per game over the last 2 seasons. So you see there, he gets a hand on the ball, and then as the possession continues, going to defend another one. And you see him just show hard, and then he's going to recover. Now, this isn't always a positive. There's negatives that come with it too, which I'll show in a second. I thought this was good as well. You got to recognize who's coming off those screens. Someone like Tyler Hero in this game, if it was Duncan Robinson, you do want to show hard on those guys, not let them get the shot off. And he did a good job of that on that possession against Hero. We're going to see it here against Luke Kennard, again, using his active, long wingspan, but here comes the negative. When you do show that high, it's going to cause opportunities for the offense to get into the lane behind you and force rotations from your defense. As you see there, he wasn't able to get a hand on the ball. Here he's going to show hard. Ricky Rubio is able to split it. We're going to talk about his switchability or lack thereof as we continue through this breakdown. And then it's also just about his ability to recover. This is 2 years ago. He's able to recover to this one and get a block. We'll talk about his rim protection in general, but it wasn't always the case. As you see, the Spurs hit the pocket pass on this one, and he's not able to get there and really contest or block that shot at the rim. And then also, whenever you have a true lob guy that can really elevate, and he's playing that far up and showing that hard, they're going to be able to get it over the top of him. On this one, I think it really shows he's not able to get into that back pedal, and so he actually turns his back completely. This happened a few different times. On this one, Garland's going to go up. Noel is late trying to block the shot. We'll talk about him trying to block shots and the kind of rotations that causes. Ends up being an offensive rebound for Evan Mobley on that one. So I really like it more when he plays true drop and then uses his length to stunt at guys and force them into an indecisive possession. When he starts showing too high and too often, it puts the defense behind him in tough spots, rotations, and I think the offense is going to take advantage of it. I mentioned the switchability and lack thereof earlier. When you're going to get him on a mismatch, this is what you're going to get almost every single time. Almost every time he got beat, and then he's going to just reach from behind like he does there. I showed a few different clips of it just so you guys knew it just wasn't an isolated incident of Nerlens Noel doing that. Here, 3 different games, 3 different examples of him getting out on the perimeter on a guard or even Carmelo Anthony, a forward. Eventually they go by, and then he just tries to swipe them behind. I don't think he's going to be switchable in the way that we've seen someone like Isaiah Stewart with the Detroit Pistons. And then just his rim protection. He did average just under 2 blocks a game the last 2 seasons. So it's something he can do. You can see people come into the lane and he affects their decision making in there. He's absolutely able to be a factor in terms of controlling the paint and protecting the rim in that way. As you see him come from behind and get a block there. And then here he even plays with some verticality on the baseline drive from Malik Monk. Now with this comes, he is going to go after some that he shouldn't, and you're going to have rotations behind. So this is the same kind of idea as when he goes up and really shows hard. So you have to get a weak side rotation, or else there's going to be dump offs for layups, or even if he goes up and it isn't able to get the block like he isn't here, but the ball gets up on the rim, the guy he's guarding is going to have a good advantage for an offensive rebound. So Nerlens Noel, offensively, he can be a roll man. He provides some value in that way, but really love what he does on the baseline and how he's able to work down there, setting screens, playing in the dunker spot. Defensively, would love to see him just a little bit more true drop coverage, using his length in that way. Can do some rim protection, but at times he's going to put the defense behind him in rotations where they have to be really good.